I never thought the day would come when my own parents would look me in the eye and tell me to never come back. But it happened. And the cruelest part, it was right after I had given them $20,000 to save their home. I still remember the phone call. It was a rainy Thursday night. I was at my small apartment in Denver, half asleep when my phone buzzed. It was my mom. I almost didn't pick up because lately every call from home came with some kind of request or bad news. But something in me said answer it. So I did. Her voice was trembling. "Michael," she said, "we're about to lose the house. The bank. They're going to take it. We need help, please." I sat up straight in bed. My heart sank. That house wasn't just wood and brick to me. It was the place where I grew up, where I took my first steps, where Dad taught me how to ride a bike in the driveway, where Mom baked chocolate chip cookies every Sunday. The idea of strangers living there felt like someone tearing out a piece of my soul. "How much?" I asked quietly, already fearing the answer. "20,000, she whispered, almost ashamed. "If we can just pay that, the bank will stop the foreclosure. $20,000. To me at the time, that was everything. I had scraped together savings over years, working 2 jobs, skipping vacations, eating cheap meals, dreaming one day I might buy my own place. That $20,000 was my future, and now my parents were asking for it. I swallowed hard. "Let me think about it," I said. But that night, I couldn't sleep. Every memory of that house played in my mind like an old film reel. The smell of Mom's perfume lingering in the hallway, the creak in the stairs I used to skip to avoid waking Dad when I'd sneak in late, the sound of laughter echoing through the living room during Christmas mornings. By sunrise, my decision was made. I wasn't going to let my childhood home vanish. The next day, I wired the money. All of it. I told myself, it's just money. You can earn it back. But once the house is gone, it's gone forever. When I called Mom to tell her, she cried. "Michael, I don't know what we would have done without you. You saved us." Dad got on the line too. His voice was steadier, but I swear I heard something crack in it. "Son, thank you. You'll never know how much this means." For a brief moment, I felt like the hero. The good son. The protector of the family legacy. But that feeling didn't last. Weeks passed. I expected maybe a little more warmth, a little more gratitude. Instead, the calls started shifting again. Mom would ask if I could cover the electric bill, just this once. Dad mentioned the car needed repairs. Small things at first, but always something. I started to feel uneasy. I wanted to believe I'd saved them, but the requests didn't stop. It was like throwing water on a fire that kept flaring up. Then came the breaking point. I drove back home one weekend, excited to see the house I'd saved. Pulling into the driveway, I noticed something strange. A brand new truck sitting there. Shiny, expensive, easily 40 grand at least. My stomach dropped. Inside, Dad was lounging in the living room watching football. Mom was in the kitchen cooking. I tried to keep my voice calm. "Whose truck is that outside?" Dad didn't even look away from the TV. "Mine." "Yours?" I repeated, my voice cracking. "You just told me you were about to lose the house. I gave you everything I had. And you bought a truck?" He finally turned to look at me. His face was hard, almost cold. "Michael, don't talk to me like that. I needed a vehicle. The old one was breaking down." I looked at Mom, hoping she'd step in, but she just kept stirring the pot on the stove, avoiding my eyes. The betrayal burned in my chest. That money was to save the house. "Do you have any idea what I gave up?" Dad stood up now, his voice rising. "Don't you lecture me. We're your parents. We raised you. You wouldn't have a dime without us. Don't act like we owe you something." Those words hit harder than any punch. My own father telling me I was out of line for questioning them, after I'd given up my future. The argument escalated. Years of buried resentment spilled out. Dad accusing me of being ungrateful, me shouting that they were manipulative, Mom crying, begging us both to stop. And then, the moment I'll never forget. Dad's face twisted in anger. He pointed at me, his finger shaking. If you don't like how we live, then don't come back. Do you hear me? Don't come back to this house again." The room went silent. My ears rang. I stared at him, waiting for him to take it back. To laugh and say he didn't mean it. But he didn't. Mom's eyes were red, but she didn't say anything either. It was final. I left that night. Packed my bag, got in my car, and drove away from the house I had saved. The house I thought would always be home. On the way back to Denver, I pulled over on the side of the highway and just sat there, gripping the steering wheel, tears streaming down my face. I couldn't make sense of it. How could the people who gave me life, the people I loved more than anyone, cast me out right after I sacrificed everything for them? In the weeks that followed, I went numb. I stopped answering their calls. I threw myself into work, trying to rebuild the savings I'd lost. Friends noticed I was quieter, more distant. I didn't tell them the full story. How could I? How do you explain to someone that your parents betrayed you in the cruelest way? Months passed before I finally told someone. Emily, my closest friend since college. She listened without interrupting, then put her hand on mine and said, "Michael, sometimes family isn't about blood. It's about who actually shows up for you." Those words stuck. I realized I had spent my whole life believing that being a good son meant sacrificing myself, no matter the cost. But that night on the highway, when my parents told me to never come back, something broke inside me. And maybe something was born too. A new understanding. I don't hate them. Strange as it sounds, I still love them. But I've accepted that love doesn't always mean closeness. Sometimes it means distance. Sometimes it means letting go, even when it rips you apart. It's been 2 years now since that night. I haven't stepped foot in that house again. I hear from neighbors that my parents still live there. The bank never took it. My $20,000 made sure of that. And sometimes, when I drive past the exit that leads to my old hometown, I slow down. I think about pulling off, about knocking on that door, about seeing if maybe, just maybe, time has softened their hearts. But I never do. Instead, I keep driving. Because the truth is, my home isn't there anymore. My home is in the life I'm building for myself. In the people like Emily who remind me what real love looks like. In the quiet strength I've discovered inside me. I'll never get that money back. I'll never get those years back either. But I did learn something priceless. Sometimes the people you'd give everything for will give you nothing in return. And sometimes the hardest but most necessary thing you can do is walk away. And so I did. And though it still hurts, though it still feels like an open wound some nights, I remind myself of this. I may have lost my parents' approval. I may have lost the house I thought defined me. But I found my own worth, and no one, not even them, can take that away.